sure I'm going to share something with you. That might put me in a very negative light, yeah.
Relationships are not my forte.
See if someone grabbed up my wife or something, completely different ballgame.
I'll walk away from it, and this has been like a therapy session.
Andrew McCART, IFL TV, proudly sponsored by Everlast, and I'm delighted to be joined by, I was going to say IBF World Champion, but the unfortunate news, Joe.
Whoa. Lineal.
We'll take that there. Listen, yeah, let's just jump straight into it then. We've already said how you are this fine Sunday afternoon, but let's just jump straight into it. You put a post on your Instagram, a picture of your hand, and we've seen the scar there. If you can show us your scar again. I mean, it's a peach of a scar, that. It's an absolute beauty, but yeah, just tell me how that happened. I mean, it was the right hand that knocked down Ogawa back in the day, back in June. So just tell me, how did it happen?
Yeah, well, it was my first spar back, and I'm not going to lie, it was my first spar, my first round, and it was the first right hand I threw. And it was the shot I knocked Ogawa out with. But I was sparring a southpaw, obviously preparing for Rakimov southpaw. And I think where I lined it up and I've gone, he stepped in as well, trying to get his own backhand off. And I think just doubly impact and literally broke it straight across. So, yeah, I knew I'd done something straight away. Luckily, we both stepped back. And because if I would have probably carried on punching, I would have done more damage. As I was clenching a fist, then I could just feel something popping. It was popping in my knuckle and it felt like here. Didn't feel right. So I just took my glove off straight away. Rung Mike Hayton. He said, FaceTime me, so I FaceTimed him. He looked at me and he said, go back. I'll book you in an X-ray in Cardiff. And I think so. I said to Tony, listen, I'm going to go back. I'm going to get an X-ray. And he was like, no, go do what you need to do. So I've gone back at an X-ray. The lady told me there, and then she went, you've done something, but I don't know if it's a previous injury or what. I said, she went, let me do some more scans. You've done a couple of more. She went, yeah, he's definitely done something. So she showed me on the thing, and I from then, when she said that, it was like my heart sunk, and I was like, fuck. Then Mike Hayton rang me in the night. He was like, Joe, you've done it. You've done a fucking good job here. Like, I was like, oh, nah. And saying from that day on, for about a week, I was just in my feelings. I was in a bad place, to be honest. And then it's not good. It's my second time of a bad hand injury, and I genuinely, my first thought was, how long am I going to be out? Is it worth me, if I'm going to be out for this, is it worth me still fighting and all this? But yeah, I spoke to Mike Hayton then, and he was like, listen, if you have the op, you'll be out 3 months without punching on it, and then however long it takes to get back to a fight. So he said, you'll be back, I reckon, April, May. So yeah, I've got a few months out now. At my first gym session Friday, I was fucked, I'm not going to lie. But yeah, obviously I ain't punching on my hand. It was just one-handed.
Well, obviously the healing process there, you'll be back April, May time. So obviously Rakimov and Selfa Barrett is going to be fighting in November. So the winner, Eddie Hearn, has said that you will fight the winner of Zelfa Barrett and Rakimov. So that's perfect timing, because that will give them enough time after that fight in November, 4 or 5 months, for the next fight. So it almost works out perfect timing. But I just want to stay on you a little bit more on this, because obviously winning the IBF world title, I was there, I was ringside, I watched you, and I seen how the emotions on your face winning that in Cardiff, and obviously the post-fight and everything after that, man. You were delighted to finally get your hand on that world title, only for it to be taken off you in quotes, because you will fight for it again. But I mean, just tell me the whole situation with Rakimov. Obviously, he had 90 days to face Rakimov. That was the deal in place for you to fight Ogawa. But yeah, just tell me how your emotions when the IBF said, listen, we're gonna have to take the belt off you and let Selfa Barrett and Rakimov face fight for it.
Well, first and foremost, I wasn't happy at all. Because I know the IBF, you're allowed 2 extensions. You got an interim title also. So the automatic thing would have been, let them fight for the interim title, then me keep my title, and then I'm a champion in recess. It's the same scenario that's going to happen. I'm fighting the winner. So why strip me to give it the belt's coming back to me anyway. So why strip me? It just don't make sense when you got the likes of Errol Spence pissed up in a car, crashed his car, head injury. I done mine in the gym, preparing for a fight. Mm-hmm. Then he had 12 months out. Then he could come back 8 months later. He was meant to fight, I think, Manny Pacquiao. Then he done his retina. He was out again for another 16 months. So he had 2 years out, over 2 years. But you stripping me to lay a couple of months. But the same scenario is happening. I got to fight the winner, or they got to fight me. But 2 seconds, girls, keep it down a minute, please. I'm gonna do an interview. So when I don't know what Eddie done prior, but what I was told when I went in the office, we've done a deal for you to fight Ogawa. I said no, that's amazing. Basically, the IBF wanted me to stick on Ogawa versus Fusili. So I said, yeah, on one condition, Cordina fights the winner. So you've made that deal. Then 3 weeks out or whatever it was, Rakimov come back on mandatory. I'm mandatory. I won my shot. So they've had to pay off. I don't know what deal they've done, because I am being told until, as you've seen in the post press conference, I'm sat there and they're telling me this wasn't happening. I was like, well, fucking luckily it did, because it would have been murder. Genuine. And I'm thinking, right, so I don't know what, I'm in the dark. I don't know what the deal they've made. So now this has come up. I still don't know what deal they've made, because they're saying, no, well, this is this, and this. They've got to fight in that amount of time. That was the deal for you to fight. And it's changing all the time. So when I was meant to fight in September, Eddie was in Saudi, then LA or vice versa, and then Australia, however it went. So he'll come back and he's like, you're fighting in September. Now, I should have started camp like 2 weeks ago, which at this point, I'm like, yeah, no problem. I still got 10 weeks. That's fine. So I've jumped straight in to spar and everything else. I pushed it, because normally my 2 weeks was easing and whatever. So I've jumped in and sprained my wrist. Now, I need to delay it only a couple of weeks, because I've got a sprained wrist. I can't punch on it. So that was that. So I've had my first extension. So this is my second extension. So yeah, when they've done that, they said, nah, they've extended till I can fight on the 5th of November. And now they say, nah, there's no more leave it there. He's getting stripped. But I'm thinking, well, like, why? Yeah, you've made the deal, but it's in your rules that I have 2 extensions, and there's an interim title for a reason. They fight for the interim title. I'm champion in recess, and we go from there. But instead, they strip me for me to fight for it again. It just don't make sense to me.
I seen Eddie's interview with Coogan, and Coogan had asked him, reference the situation where you've been stripped from the IBF world title. And basically, Eddie said that the deal was that Rakimov would fight for the full world title within 90 days of you winning it. Now, for him to fight for the full world title, if you can't defend it, obviously the IBF, I think that's probably the deal that was in place there, was the full world title.
But I wasn't aware. I haven't been told any of this. So what? You're just gonna chuck it on me? Like, I just feel like I haven't been treated fairly. I haven't been treated fairly. If it seemed like I was sat here at home injured and no one's backing me. If no one's fighting for my corner. It's like, yeah, Eddie he rung me the night before. So I rung him. Obviously, he got a lot on his plate. It was the night before it came out about Conor, that failed drug test and whatever else. So rung me. We're going through a few things, and I was like, okay, but I just listen. Mm-hmm. I just listen, no problem. I'm thinking, okay. So I thought, let me text him, see if in the morning. So I text him in the morning to get my tickets. Bear in mind, I didn't have a ticket to go to the show. No, they couldn't get me a ticket. Bear in mind, I'm a world champion. Mm. That's how interested they are in me. You understand? So yeah, it felt like no one was fighting my corner to keep my title. But it's what it is, and they're like, I can't do nothing about it now. It's like, whether do I go court down that route, or I don't know what's happening. Now, all I know is I'm fighting for that title when I'm back. I'm going to take my title back along with all the rest as well.
That's what I mean. Like, I spoke to you after the fight, and it was all about Shakur Stevenson and stuff like that. Well, he's obviously moved up now, but there was all this talk about facing all these big names in your division. But listen, it's going to be a great fight. Even though you are the strip world champion, you haven't lost the title by any stage. You're still undefeated, but you will be facing the winner of Zelfa Barrett and Rakhimov. Now, when you look at that as a UK boxing media outlet and looking at you and Zelfa Barrett, I think for the interest of a lot of British boxing fans, they probably won that
makes
fight.
Sense.
It makes a lot of sense.
I'd prefer to fight him because it benefits me and Zelfa a lot more than me fighting Rakhimov. Do you understand? It don't appeal to a lot of people, me fighting Rakhimov. If I was to fight, say for instance, Rakhimov in the O2, just arguably, we're not going to fill it because it's Rakhimov. No one really knows Rakhimov in the UK. But if it was Zelfa Barrett, it'd be a different story. In Cardiff,
Manchester, that's what I was going to say. Do you mind?
Manchester. No, but it just depends what we're talking. Now, I haven't lost my title. I haven't lost it. Yeah, if he wins, he might be a champion, but it's got to make sense to me also. Otherwise, it's you, like I said, I feel like I haven't been treated fairly.
Is that from the IBF? Is that with the IBF and Eddie Hearn you haven't been treated fairly with, or is it?
I don't know. I don't know what deals they've done for me to fight for it, and I don't know what deals they made with Rakhimov for me to keep my belt and fight him. I don't know what deals. I've been kept in the dark. Now, like as a fighter, I'm like, well, you should have told me. Don't sit there and let me be guessing. I'm thinking, when's my date getting announced? 4 weeks they give me to fucking sell the motor points. 4 weeks. I didn't get a ticket till 3 weeks. So 3 weeks. So like, I'm thinking, all the time, when are you announcing my fight, Tom? When are you announcing my fight? Oh, ask Charles, when are you announcing my fight? Oh yeah, we're gonna get it sorted. Weeks go by, and I'm thinking, what? And then it's like putting me in some sort of way where I'm thinking, fucking, because they don't give a fuck about me. I'm just like, what? But then I ended up fighting, doing my shot. Whether they believed in me, I don't know. But I've always said it. Every time I've done an interview, I'll be a world champion. It's not if, when. And I've always said it, I'll be a world champion. And I am. It's sat up there. I wasn't interested in any other belt in between. And like people, oh yeah, he's not all that. He's not. I haven't got out of second gear, and I've won a world title in 15 fights. Just like people, like say for instance, there's certain people in boxing that are not interested because I don't fucking shout my mouth off, or I don't give it a big one. I go about my business. I box. That's what I'm fucking here for. I box, and I've done it. I've won a world title in 15 fights. I've been to an Olympics. I've been to Commonwealth Games. I've won medals everywhere, all around the world. European champion, one of 5 in Britain to ever do it. Put respect on my name, like it's not. It's like don't just throw me under the rug or whatever. And, oh yeah, he's he don't fucking shout this one. He don't do this. He don't do that. But fucking hell, and like it don't come around often. People like myself, like Josh Taylor's in Britain, like Josh Taylor's, like your Sonny Edwards. Charlie Edwards, who won a world title early on. They don't come round often. We don't come round often, and we've done it in like good fashion also. Especially Josh. Josh fucking undisputed champion within 17, 18 fights.
17, 18 fights, yeah.
17, 18 fights. Fucking hell. But it's like, yeah, boxing's so fickle and that. But yeah, I was going off on another rant, but feel like I just haven't been treated fairly.
Listen, I can understand that, obviously, because I can only imagine winning a world title only for it to be taken off you in these circumstances within a couple of months of having it. But that being said, obviously, I can see the frustration. I can hear the annoyance in your voice. What's that going to do for you coming at the training camp for the winner of Zelfa Barrett and Rakhimov? Is that going to give you more fire in your belly to go in there and snatch that title back with a statement performance?
Yeah. And like, don't get me wrong. Like I've never gone into a fight thinking I'm gonna knock this one out, knock that one out, and that will never happen. I'll never go into a fight there. I've boxed to orders and I've boxed to a game plan, and I intend in boxing, and that's what I did in against Ogawa. But he was there for the shot that we've been practicing in the gym, day in day out, and hours on, and it was just perfect. It was lined up perfect.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'll go out there, box, get my title back, and then we'll move on. But it will give me motivation, and it will push me on to like push boundaries in my camp, because I literally I give it everything in the camp for me to win that world title. Then I left no stone unturned, made the weight perfect. I'd done everything that was meant to do and more.
Obviously, Shakur Stevenson, like I said to you, we spoke about the Shakur Stevenson fight because he held 2 of the 4 belts. You had the 1. Are you disappointed that he's moving up so you don't get that fight? Or
well, funny enough, you say that.
A unified world champion.
No, listen. I was on Saturday. He done a TalkSport radio interview. They said the only fight we want to see you in the UK is you and Joe Cordina. Lovely. I didn't hear it. And someone sent the video recorded it and sent it to me. I said, lovely. He went, yeah, that's a big fight for me, big fight for him. I can still make 133. So there's that. Yeah. Yeah, it's a big fight. 133. I can still make 133 a catchweight. I was thinking, mate, this is the second time you've basically called me out.
Mm.
It's not directly, yeah, I want to fight Joe Cordina next, but you've mentioned my name and he's calling me out. Then he does interviews saying I call him out. Never been the case. I just replied saying, yeah. The first time I said, yeah, no problem. Let me enjoy my rest and we'll talk. He's got a fight, no problem. But then he's organising other fights in between. So I just put a laughing face. So it got a little bit back and forth for me and him. But then this is the second time now he's said we'll catch weight. I'll go 135. Never mind. I boxed at 135 before. I'm a big guy. 135. That's the second time now. So I accept.
At 135?
At 135. I don't give a shit. I boxed at 135 before. I won a British title in second gear. 135.
That was Gavin Gwynn, wasn't it? Was it?
Gavin Gwynn.
Gavin Gwynn, yeah.
Bear in mind, with damaged metacarpals. 3 fights with damaged metacarpals. Couldn't let my right hand go. Him, Townend, and the last one was Tinoco.
Tinoco, yeah, Tinoco. Was that in
Monte Carlo.
I was there.
You were there.
That's right. Yeah, I was there. I mean, but that being said, obviously, get this into this year is obviously a write-off for you because the NC. Yes. But will you be watching? I'm guessing you will be watching Selfa Barrett and Rakhimov very, very closely on the 5th of November. I don't know if you still got your plane ticket to go over.
I don't know. It depends if Eddie pays for me.
I'm sure he will. I'm sure he will.
Yeah. If they pay me to go over, no, because I ain't earning any money anytime soon, am I? So
that's true, mate.
Yeah.
Well, listen, Joe, I do want to do a hard segue here. Obviously, you mentioned briefly about the Conor Benn situation, news breaking just after your news broke with your hand. You're in the gym with Conor for the last few years. You've seen him in training camps. You've been in training camps with him. Just go back to the last Wednesday when you heard the news of this adverse finding in his VADA test. Just take me to Wednesday and your emotions and your reaction when you heard the news.
Well, firstly, I had my phone on Do Not Disturb. So I went to phone my dad and I seen a list of about 20, 30 people, about 20 odd people ring me, missed calls. Obviously, just don't show up. I just see red. So then I looked on my WhatsApp and my sister sent me a link. Conor Benn failed drug test. I was like, what? I said, nah, it's not right. So obviously I chucked the news on and whatever. The workout was on as well. So then I tuned into the workout. And then I thought, nah, it's not. Listen, I know Conor is my mate. And I know for a fact, intentionally, he wouldn't do that. He wouldn't do it. obviously, did we need to find out how it's in his system? How we got in his system. But generally, I don't believe that intentionally, or he would have intentionally took that to enhance his performance for that fight anyway. Especially, he's this is what don't make sense. He's making a shitload of money. One, two, he's how can I say? He's getting tested every like I've been there when he's twice he's been tested. And I was only back for like 2 weeks. So he was tested twice in them 2 weeks. So you've got, I think he would have been tested prior to that positive test and after. None of them have come back positive. So how is that? It just don't make sense. It don't add up. Whether someone have maybe put something in his, I'm just saying, putting something in his drink, or mistaken certain things or whatever. It could be in food. I don't know. Because people, I did see, because I don't know about this drug. I've seen people put things up. You can only inject it, but then
I've heard you can get a tablet though.
Yeah, so I was speaking to my missus, and she said no. She went, you can get it prescribed off the doctor for tablets because it's for women. Mm-hmm. So I was like, okay, so easily crush in your water or fucking thing. Now, it just pains me to see some of the stick he's getting before we find out the in and out facts. Like you got your Furies, your Billy Joes, Canelos, Dylan Whites, and they all fail drug tests. But I've never seen any of them get the stick that Conor, although it's a massive event, this is globally. But I haven't seen it get a stick. He's still a young man. He's got a family, and people are proper on him. And mental health is like rife at the minute. You understand this? It's not on what people are doing, especially the likes of fucking Curtis Woodhouse. Got a new YouTube channel, and he's fucking hot topic at the minute, so he's on it. But like, why are you trying to ruin this guy's life when not knowing the facts? Yeah, he failed the test. Okay, he's failed the test. Obviously it don't. The B sample, they're going to have to check. A lot of people say, well, it don't matter. Yeah, we piss in the same pot and just get separated. It gets separated. But let all the facts come out first before you start trying to ruin the guy's life. It's not fair. It's not fair. And with some of the stuff I've seen online, and even I'm getting fucking slandered. Now, yeah, I knocked my last opponent out. So what? I went the distance the fight before, but then the one before that I knocked him out. Then I went the distance like 3 or 4 times. So I don't know. Like I've been tested more times in my boxing career that some people have had fucking Indian and takeaway Chinese and Indian takeaways. I was on whereabouts where they come to you fucking. I've been tested 3 times in 1 week when I was leading up to the Olympics, and after they come into my house at 7 in the night on a random. On a random. If I wasn't there, they'd go away, no problem. But in my time frame, they've come in my time frame that I've got set out. They've been to the gyms. But I don't give a shit because I know I'm good. You won't catch me. I don't drink. I don't fucking take drugs, nothing. But with thing, you won't catch me taking no protein unless it's got that badge on it there, Informed Sport. Because I know what that batch test is. There's a site you look on, and it's called Informed Sport. Anything on there is good to take. Then there's a thing called Global Drug, where you check all your vitamins, your fucking tablets, your medicines, and like that. Now, a lot of things are banned. A lot of things are okay. But you've got to check it because the Lemsips are banned. Night nurse is good. You're okay to take. But day nurse, you can't take. So sometimes that comes in one box. You just got to be careful and check it. But like, people giving me stick, I'm thinking, fuck it off. I don't fail the drug test. But still, I don't give a monkeys because I know I'm good. Deep down, Conor, I've spoke to Conor. Conor, he knows he haven't took nothing. But I just think people should sit back, let everything come out first, because people are jumping to conclusions. We know fickle boxing is. It's mad,
Mm-hmm.
and it's not fair on him. He's still a young man, and you're ruining his life. And obviously, I know people on Twitter don't really give a fuck, but the same people. Bear in mind, Conor will remember all these people that are giving him stick. He'll remember it. Now you're gonna have to see him now and again. Just make sure you keep the same energy. It's not on, and I don't agree with it. Until we got the facts, I just think just like say what you have to say, but don't keep going in deep and trying to ruin a guy's life. It's not fair.
Joe, you mentioned there as well, like obviously you need the implied what your protein shake there. You don't take it unless it has this badge, and there's the website you can check all the substances, what to take. I mean, for a fighter at elite level, I've seen the list. And it's a big ass list. So mistakes can happen, right? We all know that they can happen. So, how difficult as a fighter do you find it when it leading up to a big fight to watch what you take in terms of supplements, vitamins, protein shakes, energy drinks, whatever it may be? How difficult is it for you going through a training camp when you're thinking about a big fight like that to watch what you're doing and all that? Is it difficult?
Yeah. So what you're trying to say is you should know what you're putting in your body, but at the same time, if you haven't been taught about it properly, which I was when I was on Team GB. You're good mates with Josh Taylor. He'll tell you. They on certain days they'll sit you down in a room and you're going through things like it's like a class. This is what you do. This is this. We've been taught about it. He haven't. You've come in boxing, being criticised this whole boxing career up until late. Even you still get people trying to fucking give him stick, but he's dealt with it. But this is on a different level. But he obviously haven't been taught, maybe haven't been taught or showed this is what you do when you think this is what, and he's still young. So could he be a bit naive and took something? I don't know. That someone have given him? I don't know. But deep down in my heart, I know that guy, he's a good man, and he wouldn't take nothing like that. But obviously it needs to come out to how it's in his system. But it needs to be an investigation. But that's why I think people should just hold back a minute before trying to fucking ruin his life.
What I'll ask you, Joe, is obviously they were, even after the field test came out and they were still looking for the fight to go ahead, even though there was a positive test. Do you agree with the fight going ahead even after a positive test, or do you think the right thing was done to postpone the fight and not go ahead with it until everything is cleared?
Nah, it was the right thing to do. But because it's not that, like, if it like, don't get me wrong, if it went up ahead, I'd be like, no problem, I would love to see the fight. But not everyone is the same, and not everyone's the same. Everyone's got different outlook and different views and whatever. As we see, loads of people are getting stick and they're going overboard. People are sitting back, okay, yeah, this, and this, and then I'm like, okay, well, let all the facts come. And there's a lot of people like me. Let the facts come before you pass judgment. But then the right thing was to do for the whole of boxing was to stop that fight, and then it can be rescheduled. But it's like it just wouldn't have looked good. It wouldn't have looked good. But like I said, I know for a fact that intentionally, how we got in a system, we don't know. He don't know. Everyone don't know. But I know for a fact he wouldn't have took anything that he shouldn't have intentionally.
Joe, I do appreciate your time on this Sunday afternoon. I mean, your little boy's been napping for an hour now, so I'm guessing he's going to be up and ready to rumble very, very shortly. So, yeah, just one final one from me then. Rakhimov, Selfa Barrett, your world title. You haven't lost it in the ring, so
mine.
Who wins it? Who wins that fight?
Genuinely, it's a 50-50 fight. The same with me and Rakhimov, it was a 50-50. Obviously, I want Selfa to win. He's a fellow Brit. And it just makes more sense for me and him to fight. It just appeals more to the British public. It'd probably be a better fight. I'm looking forward to it.
Definitely. Well, listen, hopefully Eddie will get you that plane ticket over then, so you can watch it. You can be ringside to watch who you're facing in April, May time. But Joe, like I said, I do appreciate your time and your honesty, mate. And listen, I hope that hand heals up quickly so you can get back punching again very, very shortly. And listen, until the next time, mate, I'll speak to you soon, brother.
Cheers, bro. Nice one.
Cheers, bro. Thanks, bro.
I'm going to share something with you that might put me in a very negative light, yeah.
Relationships are not my forte.
See if someone grabbed up my wife or something, completely different ballgame.
I'll walk away from it, and this has been like a therapy session.